Hello, you're listening to Mystic Orange. This is Talking in the Shadows. This is episode 61. In today's video, I'll be talking about RWBY again. So yeah, strap in and here we go. In today's episode, I'll be talking about Volume 1. I think it's episode 11, 12, 13, 14, I think. I'm not completely sure. Is um It's uh, these episodes are dedicated towards John Arc. So by this point, um, I would recommend checking out RWBY, Volume One, especially. It is really enjoyable to watch. Um, like I've been enjoying watching them. At this point, like from episode 1 to the 10th episode. You can check it out in Rooster Teeth, like a playlist. So yeah, but I think this part of the volume as well, like um I'm not a huge fan of, because we're focusing on John, and I think um this batch of episodes. I don't think many people are a fan of, and I can't understand why. Um, First of all, John does get bullied. Uh, I will talk about like the negatives, but there are like a little bit of positives in this uh, batch of episodes. But I think there's a lot of problems with these sort of episodes. First of all, there's bullying towards race, which I don't mind. But like Velvet gets bullied by Cardin. You see the Faunus girl. She does get bullied, but I feel like the group, they don't do anything to stop it. I think it's not a really great way of like showing her heroism. I think someone should have like called like a teacher or something. Because they're supposed to be like heroes, right? And there's bullying right in front of them, and they're not stopping it. I think it's a poorly handled situation. And then there's like John is addressing his issue with them about the bullying, and they don't do anything either. No one tells the teacher anything. I think it's a poorly handled situation. Uh, um, I think um, I, John himself as a character, I'm not a huge fan of. He's pretty pathetic in my opinion and whiny. I really find him really annoying. There are times I feel like um, um, I don't feel sorry for him. Like he does, like he is somewhat lazy. Like he sleeps in class. Like I think shows some like enthusiasm. Like he's bored already. Um, so he's kind of like a slacker. So I don't. Um, it's hard to root for him when he's like that. And it. Uh, um, I think he is somewhat like uh, dramatic as well. I think his like when he addresses his problem to like Pyrrha, he does go like overboard with his um feelings. Like Pyrrha tries to uh, uh, help John a lot, but like all John does is like be rude towards her. I didn't like that scene when he's like talking about being up in the tree or something, and he's just like projecting his anger towards Pyrrha, who's just trying to be helpful. Also, I love Pyrrha so much. She's such a helpful girl and smart. She like really helping John, who's like being awful towards her. Um, so yeah, and I also think I do like some characters being like lively. I'd like um, Blake is like piping up a bit. So like when thingy Cardin was being disrespectful. I think I liked when like Blake kind of like had her voice. I think it's really interesting to see her point of view because she is secretly a fairness. So yeah, she has her say. And I also like Black. His he reminds me of like Palladium esque type character. I think uh, he's kind of tall with green hair. Professor Pot would make me think of Whiskers from Winx Club because he's shorter. Um, yeah, and I think Carding gives me like if uh, if Riven had a older brother, he would be Cardin. Um, Blake would be like if Bloom and Musa had a child together, that would be Blake. And Pyrrha kind of gives me Bloom vibes. I mean, she's a fiery for sure. Like her color schemes. Yeah. I don't like that this episode though. Like we dedicated towards John, all whole episode, like whole four of the episodes. I think um I wished we had more development of other characters, like Ren and Nora. I feel like they haven't got much like inter. We haven't got much interaction with them, and I was hoping like we see more of them, but instead we got a lot of information on John, and I don't think I appreciate it. And then there's other characters too, like Yang isn't getting enough, development for her at all in this volume. I think the characters that do get evolved, like some development, would be like the third of Ruby, like Ruby, Weiss, and Blake. So like Ruby and Weiss, they have their conflict like before this episode, and Blake and Weiss, they also have their conflict that happens after these episodes. So they do have their moments. How do you say? Do you like uh, whenever Ruby and John do interact? I do like their friendship, but that's really like Ruby's side to things, and John. But as a whole, I'm not a huge fan of like how John was presented in these episodes. But I do like, uh, I do like the trope of like sticking up to the bully. Um, it's nice to see, but I think the last two episodes were kind of dull in comparison. Um, yeah, so that's it really. Um, and also the animation is kind of a bit sloppy, if I have to say. Um, so yeah, um, that's how I felt about this these four episodes. Um, so yeah, how it could have been better is like we could have had some interaction with other characters, that isn't John all the time. Um, I think also this is kind of like a starting point of like how I'm not a huge fan of John um, because he is a victim of bully, and I do know like there's a point of the show where I think it kind of contradicts to what he does. I think I will talk about this in the future, but yeah, um, it does happen in Volume 6, and I think you'll know which scene I'll be talking about. Yeah. Um, so, um, what else do I need to say? I think the Japanese dub kind of like I've heard rumors that they cut out this episode of like because I think John like he faked his a transcript or something. So he kind of like cheated his way into Beacon, but no one like picks up on it. Like it doesn't get much explanation. So yeah, um, we hear about it again um in volume 8 where like Ren brings it up. So yeah, I think this plot point is kind of unexplained. So yeah, and I think not many people are fan of like him faking transcript. It shows like his he's not putting in the work himself. So yeah, um, that's my whole opinion on this arc. I swear though, like I have been enjoying Volume 1, but just not this part of Volume 1. Um, Especially not with John. I think as a whole, his character isn't really my favorite. Um, he just seems so pathetic and uh, dramatic. So yeah, I do know there are some like fans of John, but I do apologize if you are a fan and if you feel offended by these comments I'm seeing. But as I have to stay true to myself, um, I'm not a huge fan of John, and also he kind of reminds me of a Winx Club character named Sky. He he's another character who I don't like as much. Um, so yeah, um, so that's whole part of my video. I'm sorry if this episode was kind of like negative and a lackluster, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Uh, like, share, and subscribe, and hope you have a lovely day.